Welcome to the Immersion Zone. Today we are reviewing Dr. Alex Brylske's approach, published by the Business of Diving Institute, to going beyond satisfied customers, scuba divers, and creating enthusiastic divers. The current dive industry is too obsessed with selling courses, sea cards, and gear. Let's dive into providing a satisfying experience.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into something really vital for any business, actually. It's captured perfectly by this quote. You might have heard it. A satisfied customer might tell a few friends, but an unsatisfied customer, they'll tell everyone.
Oof, yeah, that really rings true, doesn't it? Customer experience is just, well, it's critical.
It really is, and that's exactly what we're digging into today, specifically through the lens of the dive industry, using Dr. Alex Brylske's insights from the Business of Diving Institute.
Right. His whole mission here is getting the industry to think beyond just having satisfied divers. He wants them to create genuinely enthusiastic ones.
And he doesn't pull any punches about it. He points to what he sees as this really fundamental flaw.
Yeah.
This long-standing obsession in diving with just selling courses and gear.
Yeah, he's got this great analogy. He says, if you don't plug the hole, it doesn't matter how hard you bail. It's so simple, but yeah.
It really paints a picture. Endless marketing, shiny new gear. None of it matters if the core experience isn't right.
Exactly. And he uses a blockbuster video example, too, saying, you can't market your way out of a business model that's dead. It forces a hard look at how things have always been done versus what actually works now.
So it's about fixing the model, not just the marketing. Okay, so if satisfied isn't the benchmark anymore, what is the difference? Dr. Brylske's been watching dive consumers since, 1976?
Yeah, a long time. And he's saying the industry largely missed how much things have changed, what satisfied someone back then. It's just not the same today. Making do isn't enough.
So let's unpack that. Satisfied versus enthusiastic. It sounds semantic, but he argues it's crucial.
It really is. So satisfied, it comes from the Latin, satisficere, basically means to make do.
Okay, like fulfilling needs, expectations, demands, ticking the boxes.
Precisely, meeting the baseline. But then you get to enthusiastic.
And that's different.
Totally different. It's from the Greek enthusiasmos, and that literally means to be inspired by a god.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking about inspiring people, not just meeting their needs. That's a big shift.
A huge shift. And that inspiration, that's the missing piece he identifies. He looked at dive operator reviews. What gets them an excellent rating, not just good.
And it wasn't just being safe and fun. Those seem pretty important for diving.
Oh, absolutely essential.
Yeah.
But there was a third thing, consistently showing up in those top reviews. He calls it being connected.
Connected. Okay, what does that actually mean in a diving context, underwater?
It means the diver feels this deep, meaningful, authentic interaction with the environment itself. It's an experience that goes way beyond their expectations.
So it's more than just seeing cool fish.
Much more. It leads to this feeling of fulfillment, makes them want to learn more, maybe even inspires them to protect what they've seen. There's actually a term for it in cultural geography and social psychology. They call it a sense of place.
A sense of place. I like that. It's that deeper bond that turns someone from just trying diving once into a real diver, an advocate even.
Exactly. But here's the problem, Dr. Brylske points out. If this connection is so important, why isn't it happening more often?
Good question.
He says it's a gap in professional development. Dive pros, usually great at safety, great at making it fun, but they consistently fall short on fostering that connection.
And why is that?
Well, think about it. Where does that real connection happen? Not in a classroom looking at slides, right? Not even practicing skills in a pool.
No, it's got to be out there, on the reef or exploring a wreck.
Exactly. In situ, as he calls it, in the actual environment, which makes the frontline people, the dive guides, the instructors on the boat, the exclusive facilitators of this connection, they're the ones who can really spark that inspiration.
Which means a lot of the current training is, it's missing a massive piece. It kind of debunks that old idea that people become divers just to collect sea cards or take endless courses.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, think about why you might want to learn to dive. It's not for the homework, is it?
Definitely not. It's to see what's down there, to explore.
Right. As Dr. Brylske puts it, that C card, it's merely a means to an end, not an end unto itself. People learn to dive because they want to experience this amazing underwater world, something totally inaccessible otherwise.
But the training often doesn't focus enough on that world itself.
That's his point. He says there's woefully little background into what really motivates the diver's interest, the environment.
He uses that brilliant analogy, training Paris tour guides without teaching them about the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre.
It's perfect, isn't it? Just highlights the absurdity. So the responsibility, he argues, falls on the individual dive pros to go out and learn this stuff themselves. The system often isn't providing it.
But wait, you said even knowing this stuff isn't always enough. Like,
Yeah.
having a marine biology degree that doesn't guarantee you create enthusiastic divers.
Correct. Because it's not just what you know, it's how you share it, how you interact. You could have a PhD rattling off scientific names, but if you don't help people feel the wonder or understand the connections, it falls flat.
Ah, okay, so this is where we shift from just educating to, what did he call it? Interpreting.
Exactly, interpretation. His first lesson there is about emphasizing function over form. Don't just point out a fish, explain its role.
So understand the ecology, the play, as he calls it, and how the organisms, the actors fit in, not just identifying species.
Right. Think about coral reefs in the Indo-Pacific versus the Caribbean. The specific corals and the actors might be different, but the basic ecological process is the play. Pretty similar. The job is to explain the how and the why.
Makes sense. Like, why does that parrotfish munch on coral? Why is this area full of life?
And a second lesson ties right into that feeling part. Connect with the heart, not just the head. Facts are cognitive thinking. Connection is effective feeling.
You need both, presumably, but the feeling part is often missed.
Often missed, yeah. Which leads to lesson 3. Don't just be an educator, be an interpreter.
Okay, what's the distinction there?
Education is defined as, facilitating learning. It's mainly about getting information into someone's head. Interpretation, though, is defined as a means of communicating ideas and feelings, which helps people enrich their understanding and appreciation of their world and their role within it.
Ah, you hear the difference. Feelings, enrich, appreciation, much more emotional, more transformative.
Totally. So the goal isn't just instruction like answering a question. It's to provoke thought. It's revelation based on information.
And you have to tailor it, right? Relate it to the customer's own life, their experiences, which means you actually have to, get to know your divers a bit.
Absolutely. It's not a canned lecture. And he outlines these 5 key things interpretation should aim for and the reactions they should ideally create in the customer.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, understanding. That, wow, I didn't know that moment.
Got it. Second.
Curiosity, making them think, I want to know more about that.
Okay. Third.
Reflection, getting that, I never thought of it that way, response.
Right. Those first 3 are kind of internal shifts in thinking.
Exactly. Then the next 2 are about action and care. Fourth is inspiring care about the environment. Someone really should do something about that feeling.
And the crucial 5th one?
Driving care for the environment. That's the shift to, okay, I want to help. What can I do? That's where enthusiasm really takes root, going from passive concern to active engagement.
That's a powerful framework. Understanding, curiosity, reflection, care about, and care for.
And he gives this brilliant example with parrotfish to show it in action. Divers see them, they're munching away on the reef.
Yeah, common sight. So the standard response.
The standard, maybe slightly bored dive master says, yep, parrotfish, eating algae, not the coral. Question answered.
Yeah.
Customer satisfied. End of story.
Okay, factual, but...
Right. But then comes the interpretive dive master. They hear the same comment, but they light up. Yeah, amazing, right? Midnight parrotfish. They're scraping algae, mostly, but yeah, they get some coral too. And get this, each one bites the reef thousands, tens of thousands of times a day. A lot of the sand you see, that's actually their poo after digesting the limestone.
Whoa, okay. That gets the, wow, I didn't know that. Understanding check.
And they keep going. But what they do is super important. They're like the reef's lawnmowers. Without them, seaweed could just take over, then the curveball. And you know what else is wild? They change sex. Start female, become male later. It's called sequential hermaphrodism, like in Finding Nemo. If Nemo's mom disappeared, his dad could have become his new mom.
Huh. Okay, now I've got curiosity, tell me more, and reflection. Fish change sex? Never thought about that. Check, check.
Now for the care part. The interpreter says, sadly, they get fished pretty heavily around here. It's a problem, because we need them to keep that algae down. So hey, if you see parrotfish on a menu tonight, maybe do the reef a solid and order something else.
Ah, there's the care about it. Someone should stop them fishing so much, and connecting it directly to the diver's choice.
Exactly. And then the final step, connecting it wider and empowering the diver. Actually, too many nutrients in the water from things like fertilizer runoff, septic tanks, even the stuff you might use on your lawn back home can make the seaweed grow like crazy and smother the coral. That's why controlling nutrient pollution is so important and why our company supports strong water quality rules.
And that's the care for it. I can make choices, support policies, I can help. Wow.
And that whole explanation, Dr. Brylske estimates it takes maybe 90 seconds.
Just 90 seconds to go from to wow and potentially create a conservationist.
That's the power of interpretation. It completely changes the dynamic. It proves that taking that little bit of extra time is absolutely worth it. Essential even.
It really does. Okay, but someone's going to say, yeah, but my customers just want to see sharks or they don't care about algae. How do you handle that?
He anticipates that pushback.
Yeah.
And he introduces this idea of different diver environmental mindsets.
Yeah.
He breaks them down into 4 rough categories.
Okay, what are they?
First, the looky-loos. They're there to relax, see some pretty colors, enjoy the experience.
Right. Then?
The adrenaline junkies. They want the big stuff, the exciting stuff. Sharks, big wrecks, strong currents maybe.
Got it.
Third, the bird watchers of the sea. They're looking for specific fish, rare critters, maybe they're into photography, checking things off a list.
And the last one?
The armchair ecologists. These are the folks who genuinely crave that deeper understanding, who want the insights about how it all works.
Okay, those categories make intuitive sense. But what's the key takeaway from that?
The crucial thing he stresses is don't assume these mindsets are fixed. Be really careful about pigeonholing people.
So don't just write off the looky-loo as someone who won't care.
Exactly. He argues that often those attitudes come from just ignorance or never having been exposed to good interpretation before. Every looky-loo has the potential to become an armchair ecologist if you just give them the chance. Spark their interest.
So the advice is?
Never assume. Always make your pitch. Always be an interpreter. Try to connect with everyone.
I like that. Okay, so how do you prepare for this? Since the real connection doesn't happen in the classroom.
Right. He suggests things like offering post-briefings. So after the main dive briefing, maybe have a voluntary session for anyone who does want to stick around and learn more about what they might see.
That sounds great. Low pressure, self-selecting.
Or some operators do informal evening talks or bio briefs, maybe gathering around the bar after dinner, just chatting about the marine life. Keeps it relaxed and conversational.
But for reaching everyone, even those who don't opt into extra sessions, it comes down to that personal interaction during the dive trip itself.
Right. And that means being ready for 2 things. Recognizing teachable moments and having your micro messages prepared.
Teachable moments, those sound like spontaneous opportunities.
Exactly. They often pop up when a customer asks a question or makes a comment. It's like they're signaling, okay, I'm curious now. I'm ready to learn. You just need to be listening keenly.
Like if someone says,
Like, wow, the water's incredibly clear here. That's your cue to maybe talk briefly about thermoclines, or why clear water sometimes means fewer nutrients, or even touch on the coral algae symbiosis, those little zooxanthellae inside the coral.
or I saw something red really deep, but I thought red light disappears.
Perfect opening to explain biofluorescence. Or maybe someone comments on a weird-looking fish. That spiny thing was so ugly it was cued. Or, I thought it was a rock. Great chance to talk about camouflage, fish forms related to feeding, behavior.
Or why do parrotfish chomp on the reef, but that grouper just hovers?
Boom. Talk about different feeding guilds, herbivores versus piscivores, or they see cleaning stations. There was this huge fish with spots, and a tiny little fish was biting its gills. Explain cleaner wrasse, symbiosis, reef health indicators. The opportunities are everywhere if you listen.
So you seize those moments. And the other tool was micro messages, like elevator pitches.
Yeah, basically, think of them as concise, maybe 2-3 minute informal explanations of really key ecological concepts. He points out that just like in sales, a lot of questions are predictable.
So you should have some core ideas ready to go, almost memorized, but delivered naturally.
Exactly. Ready to share anytime on the boat ride, waiting to dive, at the bar. Things like, what are zooxanthellae and what's coral bleaching really about? Connected to climate change, maybe disease.
Or why is herbivory so important? Why are excess nutrients from pollution or sewage bad for reefs?
Right. Or basic reef fish behavior, why fish look and act the way they do. And a big one, why coral reefs matter to everyone, even people who live thousands of miles away. Think drug discovery, coastal protection, food security.
And the flip side, the main reasons reefs are declining pollution, overfishing, climate change, having those key messages down.
It's about being prepared to share these vital insights in a way that's engaging, digestible, and crucially inspiring.
It really paints a clear picture. Seems today's divers, maybe more than ever, aren't just looking for a safe trip and some pretty sights. They're seeking something more. Authentic, meaningful experiences that stimulate them intellectually and maybe even spiritually.
That's the heart of it. And that switch from just being satisfied to being genuinely enthusiastic.
Yeah.
It happens when dive professionals meet that deeper need, when they become interpreters.
Makes you wonder how many potentially amazing transformative dive experiences ended up being just fine. Just satisfied because that interpretive spark was missing.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to that powerful quote Dr. highlights from the pioneer of interpretation, Freeman Tilden.
Which is?
The goal of interpretation is not to inform, but to inspire.
Not to inform, but to inspire. That's a fantastic thought to end on, and it applies way beyond diving, doesn't it? How can you, whatever you do, move beyond just giving information to actually inspiring people? Something for all of us to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Thanks for being with us today. Please subscribe wherever you're listening to this or at businessofdiving.com. Dive safe